You who were never meant to fit in, listen closely. You are not here by accident. You've been marked, set apart, and called into motion. The moment is no longer coming. It is here. Things are shifting. Heaven has moved. The atmosphere is changing, and you, chosen one, must be ready to vanish from who you were, because what's coming won't wait for who's unprepared. You were never created to fit the mold that the world shaped for you. From the beginning, your steps have been ordered, not by the systems of man, but by something higher, something eternal. There's a fire inside you that doesn't make sense to those around you. It burns too bright, too wild, too untamed. You've always felt different, like you were walking a path only you could see. That's not a mistake. That's the mark of someone chosen, set apart, called for a time such as this. Being chosen doesn't mean being better. It means being burdened with purpose, with vision, with a weight most will never understand. While others chase the world, you're drawn to something beyond it. While they run after popularity, you search for truth. While they seek comfort, your soul cries for destiny. There's something inside you that won't let you settle, no matter how hard you try to silence it. You've tried to be like them, to blend in, to make sense in a world built on noise and distraction. But every time you've done that, something inside of you dies a little. Because you weren't made to conform, you were made to confront. You see, those who are chosen often walk through fire before they ever taste glory. The crushing, the breaking, the loneliness, it's all part of the preparation. Diamonds don't form in open air. They're made under pressure. And you've felt that pressure, haven't you? The weight of expectations that don't fit you. The confusion of knowing you're meant for something more, but not yet seeing it. That's the tension of the chosen. That's the space between calling and commission, and it's sacred. You were never created for the easy path. You were made for mountains, for midnight prayers, for long nights of wrestling with questions no one else dares to ask. You've been entrusted with burdens others ignore, because your shoulders were designed to carry the weight of generations. The very fact that you feel things deeper, that you dream wilder, that you break harder, that's proof you've been chosen, because God never calls the shallow. He calls the ones who have drowned and still choose to rise. And maybe you haven't arrived yet. Maybe your life still looks ordinary, but don't confuse silence with absence. Don't mistake hiddenness for rejection. The greatest warriors are trained in private before they ever step onto the battlefield. This is not the end, it's the beginning. Every tear, every unanswered prayer, every door that closed in your face, none of it was wasted. All of it was shaping you, breaking the parts that couldn't carry the weight of what's coming. You are set apart, not for applause, not for fame, but for impact, for transformation. You carry something that can shift atmospheres, unlock destinies, awaken the dead parts of this world. But to do that, you have to stop shrinking. Stop apologizing. Stop hiding behind fear. You were chosen, not to be comfortable, but to be dangerous to darkness, and the time is now. Step out. The world is waiting for what only you can carry. There will be no alarm sounding to warn you when everything changes. No bright flashing sign that says, now is the moment. It will come like a thief in the night, quiet to the unaware, but undeniable to the alert. Change, when it comes for the chosen, is not a suggestion. It's a sudden divine interruption. One day everything will look the same, and the next everything will be different. That's how rapid shifts work in the life of someone marked for a higher calling. The ground beneath your feet will move, and if you're not anchored, you'll fall with the world that's being shaken. This is why you must stay in a posture of readiness, not paranoia, but preparedness. The kind that comes from living with your ears tuned to a frequency most people ignore. You must be sensitive to the shift in the wind, to the whispers in the silence, to the gut feeling that something's not just coming, it's already begun. While others scroll and slumber, you must watch and wait, because the moment is near and it won't wait for anyone to catch up. Too many people say they're waiting on a move of God, a sign, a breakthrough, but they live unready. Their lives are cluttered with distractions, their hearts divided, their identity wrapped in titles and timelines that won't work for what's coming. The chosen must live light, unattached, uncluttered, unafraid. When the door opens, you can't go back to grab what you forgot. You either move or miss it. Delay is disobedience in seasons of divine urgency. And let's be clear, this isn't just about your life changing. It's about everything around you changing. Systems will fall, relationships will shift, opportunities will rise and vanish, and you must be able to discern what is sent for your elevation and what is sent as a distraction. Just because something is good doesn't mean it's God. And in times of rapid change, only the discerning will know the difference. You must also be emotionally ready, because when things change rapidly, people will question you. They will call you unstable, radical, too intense, but you cannot afford to explain your movement to those still asleep. You don't owe anyone comfort in a season of divine confrontation. If you are chosen, you are already different. The change isn't coming to destroy you, it's coming to reveal you, but you must be ready to lose what was in order to step into what is. This is not fear mongering, it is a wake-up call. An urgent whisper in your spirit that says, get your house in order, get your spirit in alignment, get your eyes off the world and back on the one who called you. The shift won't wait for your convenience. It will test your readiness, your loyalty, your courage, and if you are prepared, you will not be shaken. You will rise with it, because rapid change does not destroy the chosen, it activates them. You must be ready to disappear from the old version of yourself, from the patterns that once held you, from the places where your identity was wrapped in comfort instead of calling. This disappearance is not a vanishing act, it's a transformation. It's the moment the caterpillar surrenders to the cocoon, not because it's dying, but because it's becoming something it was always destined to be. When you are chosen, you cannot cling to what was and expect to walk into what is. The version of you that was tolerated, predictable, and controlled must go. The truth is, many want to be used, but few are willing to be hidden. The disappearing is where the real process begins. It's when God pulls you away from the noise, strips away your dependencies, and silences the applause that once made you feel alive, not to punish you, but to prepare you, to detox you from the approval of man, to sever the cords tying you to your past, because the next season will require a version of you that no longer exists in familiar places. You have to be willing to disappear so your purpose can appear. This is where many fall away. They crave visibility more than transformation. They want the platform but not the pruning. But if you are truly chosen, disappearing is not optional. It's necessary. You will vanish from rooms you once stood in. You will fade from conversations that no longer feed your spirit. You'll feel the ache of being unseen, even when you're still present. That is not rejection. That is redirection. You're not being pushed out. You're being pulled in, into the deeper place where real identity is formed. Be ready for the shift in your connections. People will stop calling. Opportunities will dry up. Doors you once thought were permanent will close without explanation. But understand this, when God hides you, it's because He's building something in you that the crowd cannot see and the enemy cannot reach. You're not losing ground, you're gaining depth, you're being rooted, not rejected. When you disappear from the surface, you grow beneath it, and in that hidden place, the distractions begin to die, the addictions to applause, the obsession with relevance, the fear of being forgotten, those things break off in the quiet. You learn to hear the whisper of God again. You discover power not in being seen, but in being sent. When it's time, you will emerge, but not as who you were. You'll step forward with a voice forged in silence, with clarity born from isolation, with an authority no one gave you because it came from the one who called you. So don't fear the disappearing. Don't resist the retreat. When you are called to greater, you must be emptied of lesser. This is the wilderness before the promised land. This is the silence before the shout. You are not fading. you are forming disappear from what no longer serves you, and reappear as the weapon you were always meant to be. If you felt the sting of isolation, the sense that no one truly sees you, hears you, or understands the weight you carry, know this: it's not a punishment, it's a sign. You are being set apart, not set aside. There is a difference. When you are chosen, isolation becomes a tool, not a trap. It is the sacred space where your roots go deep, where your strength is formed in silence, and where your spirit learns to depend on something higher than validation. Isolation is not abandonment, it is alignment. The crowd may have walked away, but so did the noise, so did the distractions, so did the things that kept you chained to mediocrity. You may have lost their attention, but you gained clarity. The quiet season is where the real work happens. The public sees the fruit, but the chosen feel the soil. The breaking, the pressing, the long nights with no applause and no answers. This is the refining process. This is where warriors are made. Don't despise your isolation. It is not a mistake. It is not a sign that you've failed. It is a sign that you've been marked. When God calls someone, He first separates them. Look at every chosen one in history. Before they were launched, they were hidden. Before they were anointed, they were alone. David was left in the fields. Joseph was thrown into a pit. Moses fled into the wilderness. Jesus himself retreated into the desert. Why? Because isolation isn't weakness, it's preparation. It's in the hidden seasons that you hear what others can't, you see what others ignore, you receive instruction that won't make sense until later. It's in these moments of quiet that the shallow parts of you are stripped away, your ego breaks, your false identities fall apart, and you're forced to face who you really are and who you're becoming. If you're truly chosen, you'll learn to stop running from the isolation and start listening in it. There's a reason some doors closed. There's a reason certain people stopped calling. You outgrew what you once prayed for. Your spirit knew it before your mind accepted it. Isolation was the only way to break you free. What felt like rejection was actually redirection. What looked like silence was protection. You were not being overlooked. You were being overshadowed, covered by grace, surrounded by purpose, positioned for the exact moment when everything will align. So don't rush out of the isolation. Don't try to numb it. Don't try to fill it with noise. Sit in it, learn from it, let it teach you what the crowd could never tell you, let it prepare you for the weight of what's coming next, because when it's time to emerge, when the season shifts, you won't come out the same. You'll come out wiser, sharper, unshakable. That's the power of being chosen. It doesn't break you in isolation, it builds you. You cannot anchor yourself to the world and expect to stand firm when storms come. The truth is, this world is not your home, nor is it your source of strength. It's ever-shifting, unpredictable, and full of illusions that distract from your true mission. If you cling to comfort, status, or approval from the world, you will be weighed down and pulled under when rapid change hits. The chosen one must learn to live untethered, rooted not in circumstances or people, but in something eternal and unmovable. To be anchored in the world is to be vulnerable to its collapse. Systems will fail, relationships will fracture, economies will shake, and when they do, those who depended on them will falter. But if your foundation is built on unshakable truth, on faith, purpose, and divine calling, you will stand firm. The storms may rage, but you will be steady. You will be like a tree planted by streams of living water, whose leaves do not wither, and who thrives even in drought. This detachment is not about giving up on the world or being disconnected from others. It's about shifting your identity from what is temporary to what is eternal. It's about learning to walk lightly, to release control, and to be ready to move quickly when the signal comes. When you're too attached to things or people, your ability to respond to change diminishes. You become heavy, slow, and resistant. But the chosen are fluid, adaptable, and obedient. You must train yourself to see beyond the immediate. To understand that the world's applause is fleeting, its promises are often hollow, and its comfort is a trap for those who do not know who they are. Your true anchor is in your calling, not your circumstances. Your peace comes from knowing that no matter how much the world shakes, you are held by something greater. Let go of what the world says defines you. Let go of the need for approval, security, and permanence in places that will not last. When rapid change comes, be ready to release it all without hesitation, because only then will you be free to move forward with power and clarity. Only then will you be ready to rise above the chaos and fulfill the mission you were chosen for. Remember, the world is not your anchor. Your faith and purpose are. Hold fast to them, and you will not be shaken. The moment has already arrived. Whether you see it or not, it's happening right now. The winds of change are not approaching. They are rushing through your life at this very second. You may feel it in the restless stirring inside your soul, the sudden closing of doors, the shifting of relationships, or the unexplained loss of what once seemed secure. This is not random. This is divine orchestration. The acceleration you sense is real, and it signals that the mission you were chosen for is now active. You have already been set in motion. You may not see the full picture yet, but the pieces are moving on a cosmic scale. The timing is perfect, not by human standards, but by the higher plan that governs all things. The challenges you face, the upheavals around you, the confusion and chaos, they are all part of the launch sequence. When it feels like the world is falling apart, it's because it is being rearranged to make room for what's next. This is why you must live in readiness, not waiting passively, but actively prepared. You have to keep your spirit alert, your mind sharp, and your heart open. The opportunity to step into your purpose won't knock twice. The rapid changes will demand swift decisions and bold action. Hesitation will cost you more than you can afford. It's time to shed doubt, fear, and complacency. Know this: what is coming will not be a repetition of what has been. It will be new, unexpected, and powerful, and it requires a new you, one who is unshackled from old limitations and ready to move at the speed of destiny. If you resist, you risk being left behind, but if you embrace it, you will rise in a way that surprises even yourself. You are not just witnessing history, you are part of it. The world is changing rapidly, and you are changing with it. The call to disappear from your old life and step into your new identity is not just a metaphor. It's a necessity. The time is now. The shift is real. The chosen are already moving. Are you ready to rise?